100 years old, and it took me my entire lifetime to learn this one simple truth. Time does not wait for understanding. It only moves forward quietly.
How?
If you are old, stay with me until old. If you are young, listen carefully. If you are old, stay with him till the end. What I am about to say is not motivation from a book. It is a confession from a man who has already paid the price.
Would start once I was successful, once I had money, once I had stability. Every day, I woke up with urgency in my chest. There was always something to chase, something to prove, something to fix. I confused movement with progress and noise with purpose. I did not realize that life was already happening while I was preparing for it. I remember my early years clearly. My body was strong, my mind sharp, my energy endless. I treated sleep like a luxury and rest like a weakness. I believed exhaustion was a badge of honor. People praised me for being hardworking, and I fed on that praise. It felt good to be needed, to be busy, to be important. What no one told me was that being busy can become a way of avoiding life itself. Relationships waited, health waited, joy waited. Also, I told myself I would call later, visit later, slow down later. Later became my favorite word. It allowed me to postpone guilt while feeling responsible. But later is a dangerous promise. It sounds harmless, but it steals you silently. As decades passed, my calendar filled, but my memories did not. I remember meetings, deadlines, and obligations, but I struggled to remember laughter, warmth, and calm moments. I was present everywhere except where my body actually was. Even when I sat with people I loved, my mind was already somewhere else, planning the next task, solving the next problem. I lived most of my life in the future, and when the future finally arrived, I was too tired to enjoy it. My body began speaking to me long before it broke down. Small pains, short breaths, restless nights. These were not accidents. They were warnings. But youth makes you arrogant. You believe your body will forgive everything. You believe strength is permanent. I ignored the signals because stopping felt like falling behind. I did not understand that slowing down is sometimes the only way to stay alive. Then came the years when the mirror changed. The man staring back at me looked familiar, yet distant. Wrinkles appeared, not just on my face, but in my energy. Recovery took longer. Simple tasks demanded effort. I felt betrayed by my own body. Not realizing I had betrayed it first, health does not disappear suddenly. It erodes slowly when neglected daily. Old age is not just about weakness. It is about clarity. When distractions fade, truth becomes loud. I found myself sitting alone more often, surrounded by silence. Friends drifted away, some by distance, many by death. The world kept moving, but my circle grew smaller. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of connection. I had many contacts in life, but few deep bonds, and depth is what you crave when time runs out. Illness changes the way you see everything. When pain becomes a companion, priorities rearrange themselves without asking permission. Things that once felt urgent lose meaning. Things that once felt small become everything. A good night's sleep becomes a gift, a pain-free. Mourning becomes a victory. You realize how careless you were when your body worked without complaint. There are a few things that kept me alive when everything else was falling apart. Movement, even when it hurt, even when it was slow. I learned that the body wants to move, not perform. walking a few steps, stretching gently, reminding myself that I was still here, still breathing, still alive. Movement was not about strength anymore. It was about dignity. Food became more than taste. It became care. I stopped eating for comfort and started eating for survival. Simple meals, clean habits, respect for my body. I learned too late that what you consume daily shapes how long and how well you live. You cannot abuse your body for decades and expect it to serve you kindly at the end. Hope played a role I never expected. When doctors speak carefully and avoid eye contact, hope becomes an act of rebellion. Hope is not denial. It is choosing to keep going even when the outcome is uncertain. I watched people give up long. Before their bodies failed, I refused to let my mind die before my heart did. Connection mattered more than anything else. A voice on the phone, a hand holding mine, someone sitting with me in silence. Humans are not meant to age alone. Independence is praised when you're young, but interdependence is what saves you when you're old. I wish I had invested more in people. Instead of tasks, gratitude changed the tone of my final years. I stopped counting losses and started noticing what remained. Light through the window, a warm cup of tea, another sunrise. Gratitude does not erase pain, but it makes it bearable. It reminds you that even at the end, life is still offering something. As I sit here now, 100 years behind me, I understand that life is not cruel. It is honest. It gives warnings. It gives chances. It gives lessons repeatedly until you either learn or run out of time. My regret is not that life was hard. My regret is that I made it harder by refusing to listen. I spent too many years proving myself to people who no longer remember my name. I sacrificed health for success, presence for productivity, and peace for praise. When everything slowed down, I realized how little of it truly mattered. The applause fades. The body remembers. The heart keeps score. If you are listening to this and your body is still strong, do not wait for a pain to teach you respect. If your days are full, make sure they are full of the right things. Time does not announce itself when it is leaving. One day you wake up and realize most of it is already gone. This is not a story about fear. It is a story about awareness. Awareness that today is not a rehearsal. Awareness that the habits you repeat quietly shape the life you will face loudly later. I learned this slowly, painfully, and far too late. But you do not have to. I am close to the end now. And when you reach this point, excuses stop working. You can no longer lie to yourself because there is no future left to impress. Only truth remains, sharp and clear. I want to tell you what I should have abandoned much earlier, not as advice, but as a warning written with regret. The first thing I should have left behind was addiction, not only to substances, but to habits that slowly consumed me. Addiction does not always look dangerous. Sometimes it looks like comfort, routine, or escape. Anything you use to avoid feeling, thinking, or facing yourself can become an addiction. It promises relief and delivers dependence. By the time you realize it controls you, it has already stolen yours. The second thing was overworking. I believe my value came from how much I produced. I wore exhaustion like armor. I ignored birthdays, conversations, and quiet moments because work felt urgent and life felt patient. Work will always ask for more. It does not know when to stop. You must decide that yourself. I did not, and work took far more from me than it ever gave back. The third thing was constant worry. I worried about things that never happened and suffered through problems twice. Once in my mind and once in reality. Worry made me absent even during good moments. It robbed me of peace without solving anything. Stress feels productive, but it is destructive. Calm is not laziness, it is clarity. The fourth thing was neglecting myself. I believed sacrificing myself was noble. I ignored sleep, health, and emotional needs, telling myself others depended on me. In truth, I was teaching people that my well-being did not matter. When my body finally collapsed, there was no replacement. You can abandon yourself for a while, but eventually the cost arrives, and it is always higher than you expect. The fifth thing was comparison. I constantly measured my life against others. Someone always had more, achieved faster, lived better. Comparison poisoned joy quietly. It made me blind to what I had while chasing what I didn't. No matter how far you go, there will always be someone ahead. Peace comes when you stop racing lives that are not yours. Now, I want to speak directly to those who are young, especially those between 20 and 35. This is the age where habits are formed and lives quietly take direction. You think you have time to fix mistakes later. You do not understand yet that later is shaped by what you do now. Do things at the right time. There are seasons in life. Learning, building, resting, loving, all have their moments. Miss the season, and the opportunity does not return the same way. Do not delay important conversations, health checkups, or personal growth. The right time is usually now, even when it feels uncomfortable. Work hard, but do not let work live inside your head. When you go home, be home. Your mind deserves rest just like your body. Constant mental work drains joy and creativity. You do not become successful by never stopping. You become successful by knowing when to stop. Protect your health as if your future depends on it, because it does. Exercise not to look better, but to live longer. Eat not to impress, but to sustain. Sleep not as a reward, but as a requirement. Health is not visible until it is gone, and once it leaves, everything else becomes secondary. Give importance to your family and children. They do not need perfection. They need presence. They will not remember how busy you were or how much money you made. They will remember whether you were there. Absence creates distance that time cannot repair. I learned this too late, when apologies had nowhere to go. Manage your time carefully. Time is not money. Money can return. Time never does. Every wasted hour is gone forever. Learn to say no. Learn to leave earlier. Learn to choose what matters over what is urgent. A full schedule does not mean a full life. Do not let work dominate your mind. Your job is part of your life, not your identity. When work ends, your worth does not. If your sense of value comes only from productivity, retirement and old age will feel empty and frightening. Build an identity beyond your profession. Focus on self-growth, not just career growth. Skills can fade, industries can disappear, but character remains. Learn patience. Learn emotional control. Learn humility. These things matter far more when strength declines and titles mean nothing. Handle failure properly. Failure is not proof that you're incapable. It is proof that you tried. Most people regret the risks they never took more than the attempts that failed. Failure teaches clarity. Avoiding failure teaches fear. Understand the true role of money. Money provides comfort, not meaning. It solves problems, but it does not answer questions. Chasing money without purpose leaves you rich and empty. Use money as a tool to support life, not as a substitute for it. Live with purpose. Ask yourself why you are doing what you are doing. Purpose gives direction when motivation disappears. Without purpose, even success feels hollow. With purpose, even hardship feels meaningful. As I look back now, my greatest regret is not that I failed. It is that I postponed living while waiting to feel ready. I postponed joy, rest, connection, and presence. I believed life would slow down for me. It never did. I thought I had more time with people I loved. I thought my body would forgive years of neglect. I thought success would feel more satisfying. I was wrong. Life does not wait for understanding. It only offers lessons again and again until there is no time left to learn. If you are listening to this while your body is strong, your choices still flexible, your days still full, consider this a gift. You do not need to repeat my mistakes to understand their cost. Learn from my regret while you still can. Share this story with someone who is just starting their life, someone who feels lost, someone who is old, tired, or sick. Share it with anyone who believes they still have unlimited time. One day, they will realize time was never unlimited, only borrowed. I am 100 years old now. I cannot change my past, but you can change your future. Do not wait to understand what matters. Live it now, before it is too late. Like this video if you found its lessons valuable and want to apply them in your life. Share this video with someone who truly needs to hear this message today. Subscribe to our channel to keep receiving more life-changing stories and insights. Your like, share, and subscription help us reach those who can benefit the most, be part of their journey too.